Good Thursday morning. Wow. Hey, welcome to Ice Age TV. And what is happening today? What is the agenda today? Look at my nice Mustang Mach-E cup I got from my buying Ram trucks. So you buy a Ram truck and you get a Mustang Mach-E cup. How about that? Does that make any sense? Come on back here. Yeah, it's Ice Age TV. Morning conversation. You follow me along each day, and I share my thoughts and views and ideas, and hopefully you benefit from that. And I like it when people make comments to me like, hey, I watched it and I learned something today. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Oh my goodness, if you're following my channel, probably like, well, what's this guy up to now? What's this guy up to now? What's he doing now? Because I'm on an adventure today. I should rename my channel like the Chasing Classics show. You know that guy up there like in Connecticut or New Hampshire or something that goes out and buys all these cars. I should be called Chasing Deals. Yeah, I should rename my YouTube channel to Chasing Deals. Because what am I doing all the time? If you're on my channel, what am I doing? Yeah, I know. What, you're buying something else today? Wait a second. You mean it's Thursday? You couldn't even make it through this week without buying something? Yeah, isn't that about the day of truth? Yeah, couldn't even go another week. What did I buy last week? I can't even keep track. I mean, sincerely, I'll have to step back. Oh, the Gator. What I buy the week before then? I don't know. I mean, I have to sit here and think about it for a while. Oh my God. So what's the Iceman doing today? Well, first thing that I'm pretty excited about, even though I just love this Ram truck. You know, it's funny. I've never seen this before, and I'm just now seeing it. I never saw that little indentation, that tailgate. And the way the sun is today, there you go. When did that happen? I mean, I swear that's new. I have no idea. I mean, sincerely, I swear that's a new little dent. Oh my gosh, who the hell knows? Yeah, somebody shooting at me? Probably. They see the Ice Age TV up there, and oh, I know who that guy is. Get the BB gun out. Yikes, right? Hope not. Violence. Yeah, so here's the thing. I just love that Ram 3500 truck, even though that's disappointing. I have no idea how that happened. The trailer over here. Yeah, why do I need a trailer today, right? So for anybody watching the channel, you're probably like befuddled right now. Like, okay, wait a second. This guy's here talking all over the place. Yeah, so there's a really nice aluminum trailer I bought a while back. Never realizing that I would possibly be able to take advantage of that with this truck, because this truck here has a 4K tow capability. So, in which the Bronco, so my Bronco there, that's 3,200 pounds. I mean, think that through. Look how much bigger that vehicle is. The Ranger down there is like 3,500 pounds. But yet this little truck right here is 4,000 pound capability with a smaller motor, a smaller platform. I mean, I just can't believe it. I just have a hard time believing it. So to me, yeah, what am I up to? Well, I'm talking about the ATC aluminum trailer. And what I'm saying with that trailer is, had I not traded out that trailer for the steel trailer I had, I don't know that I'm not so sure I could accomplish what I want to do, because that steel trailer weighed, I think, like 3,000 pounds. I don't know. I can't remember. So, all right. So let's get out of the office here. Let's have a chat. Let's have a hard conversation, okay? Let's talk together about what the Iceman's up to now. So I get the pups up. And yeah, I'm just really that tailgate, I just don't remember seeing that dent or that, like, you know, looks like a freaking somebody shot the back of the truck. Or did the tailgate go down? Oh yeah, that's what happened. The tailgate went down. There's probably a rock on the freaking bumper. Yep, that's what happened. That makes sense, because that truck has those big tires. I've even debated about getting mud flaps for it. And But I think, does that take the look away? So, so that's what happened. That's what that is. No hate. Even though part of me says to talk today about where we are in this country and the amount of hate that's been going on. It's sad. The outgoing administration, the hate was beyond hate in the media machine. And I just think today, more than ever, it's incredible. The leaders of this country, I think, are just support the hate. It's bad. But let's not talk about that right now. Let's talk about what am I up to. There's a Harley hat, Harley shirt, and here's the thing. I can tell you what, you go back to the fall of 2019, and I bought my first Indy motorcycle, and I was just head over heels on that motorcycle. And even to the point that I just really started bad-mouthing the Harley product. I really was like, man, the Indian product is an incredible product. There's no doubt about that. Indian product on the support side, meaning the infrastructure side, isn't that good. Meaning you don't have the same type of network of dealers and the environment. It's just not the same. The Harley-Davidson dealerships and the environment is just a better environment. It's just more exciting. Because Harley-Davidson's been around so long. I mean, think of this. Even though Indian, was the first guy on the block, and Harley and them that went at it back in the early 1900s. And yeah, if you know this history of that, Harley won in the end. Harley's outdone Indian over and over again. You got to give him credit for that. I mean, yeah, devious things, yeah. Greed, yeah. Not such good business practices, probably. I mean, who really knows? And, the reason I'm bringing that up is last night I was reading about the MV Augusta, Augusta. I don't even know about these motorcycles. But if you're a diehard motorcycle person, you'd be like, yeah, I know who they are. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, the MV Augusta is coming back this country. And unbeknownst to me, this is a brand where it came from Italy from 1907 when the father was initially a pilot over there in Italy. He was into planes, and he was actually a plane service guy that worked on planes. And then he evolved into, I guess, making his own planes. And he passed away in 1927. Then his son, Dominic, took over the business and the wife. And then they evolved into motorcycles. And then apparently, back in the day, the Italian flair of motorcycles over there in Europe, the Augusta was the number one, motorcycle that was just winning races left and right and made world records of a motorcycle in the racing leagues and individuals that raced them, up to the point that this motorcycle was it dominated the racing circuits, to the point where it was sold off in the 70s, and eventually the company that bought them up eventually just came to closure that they were done making motorcycles. So you fast forward now, and apparently some Russian guy bought into the MV Augusta brand, and he's brought it back to life. And now they're starting to bring these motorcycles to this country. They're like crotch rockets. They're like the Speed Triple Triumph. They're like borderline the Ninja style, cafe style race bikes. Pretty cool looking bikes. But apparently KTM and Augusta have partnered up, and they're going to be starting to sell these. Why am I bringing this up? Because I think myself, it's just so crazy how 100 years ago, over 100 years ago, this motorcycle brand hadn't become a product yet, but the father laid the foundation because he was such a motorhead. He was an airplane head. He loved airplanes. He loved flying. He loved speed. And it's just interesting how his genes and him passed on to his son, due to the war, where they lost the capability to build airplanes during World War II, and that was their business in World War I. Apparently, is they were making lots of airplanes to the military. But in World War II, something happened. I guess where Germany controlled some things, and they shut them down basically. So they had to go a different direction. They went direction to making motorcycles, and then back in the 50s and 60s, the popularity of cars started to grow to the extent that the motorcycle side suffered because more people were buying cars than motorcycles. I'd assume at that time in Italy, it meant it was more affordable to buy a car than, because a motorcycle was probably inexpensive to buy a car, but more cars being built, so the families looked at it like, well, now we can justify getting a car or whatever. So that message there is just about how a gentleman put in place for something to, there goes the kid, just heard the exhaust. There's the dogs. The point is there's an individual in life that put in place, the ball. They say once you get a ball rolling that, eventually gets so big you just can't stop the momentum. And I think to myself, that's kind of like the EV age that we're in, that, the ball is rolling and it ain't going to stop. So, and the reason I thought that article was pretty interesting because I think about Indian and Harley Davidson, their true beginnings back in the early 1900s, and all the challenges they went through. And for the record, Harley survived because of the war. Harley was able to finagle the deal to build military motorcycles. Indian did that as well, but Ford and Harley buddied up together during the war, and it enabled them to Ford was buying Harley motorcycle stuff. I believe, that information there isn't, I don't know how correct I am on this, but the message is that Harley prevailed and Indian didn't. And it's because of the war. So it's just interesting how we all know as individuals, one guy's, sad story is another guy's great story. And I talk about that a lot in my videos here lately, where I think more than ever, we are right at that edge of this economy and country that if you have if you have things in your ducks in a row, wherever the saying is, that you're gonna benefit, greatly. I mean, sincerely, I think more than ever right now, if you're a person that has your finances in order and you're doing things correctly and you're in your business, you know how to manage your business through challenging times and adapt, that I think that, the happier times are actually around the corner instead of the sadder times. I mean, I just am such a strong believer in that. And anybody watching my channel, I think that we all need to step back for a second, realize, hey, things are going on and down the road will probably reward you. And yeah, sadly, you watch my channel. I mean, for me as an individual, I benefit nothing from people going broke. So it isn't really me. If anybody thinks that I'm radiating, I want to see people go broke and go through hardships, that isn't who I am. That's not what it's about. My message in my channel I'm trying to convey to people is the greed is out of control. And the only way you control greed is by, economic hardships on people that are trying to make too much money off of people that have really abused it. In my eyes, the pandemic opened the door for abuse. And it was talked about even during the pandemic of how many businesses abused the situation of raising their prices and this and that. There's a lot of variables to everything there. But, the message for me is, as an individual on a YouTube channel, I don't want anybody here thinking that I'm wishing hardships on others. And that's what I was talking about a little earlier is more than ever in our society, I feel like there is that mentality that people want to see people suffer. I mean, you have to honestly say to yourself right now, this sitting administration, and this isn't, for me to start a political channel, and I say this all the time, because I don't want a political channel, because it'll just divide my subscribers and divide us when we're fighting over individuals that are put in office by the powers of big business that tell them what they can and can't do. I mean, I've gone a great length of talking about how the green agenda is $1 billion conglomerate of all these different organizations that are going to the governing bodies and forcing the hand of the governing bodies and manufacturers to abide by their rules and ways. So if you don't think it's any different on a political person that's in office that's having the same thing done behind the scenes, then you're not in tune with how the political system works in this country and in the world. So the point is, I think more than ever, this sitting administration is borderline wants to see the hardships. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here saying that individuals are intentionally wanting to harm people. But unfortunately for mankind, we have the devil in us. We all know we have the bad side of us. That's just humans and mankind. And I think more than ever, what I have witnessed in the last few years is it just seems like the hate has been ratcheted up more than ever. And I talk to people face to face about this, and I'm not embellishing here. I will talk to somebody who doesn't look like me, that'll be different color. And I'll say to them, I said, do you know what the 1619 readings are? Do you know what CRT is? I mean, I'll just kind of feel them out just to kind of see who they are and where they are in life. And you'd be amazed at how many people don't know that language I just told you. And yeah, this is a auto channel, car channel, motorcycle channel, but it's all, if you're passionate to own things and have things, it goes back to the roots, goes back to the base. And for me, I know I radiate some kind of off-subject conversations here, but in the end, your political environment and your social environment kind of creates your economic environment. So for me, more than ever, I feel like this country with the media, I think the media is a lying machine beyond lying machine that we've ever seen in our lifetime, my lifetime. The media does not tell the truth. It's all an agenda to accomplish something. So it's really bad when you watch the media, run its mouth, because one network just runs its mouth, the other network runs its mouth. But what I feel more than ever is it's actually as if people are supporting leaders more than ever in this country to support the sorrows and the hardships of others. It really is. It's really bad. If you look at the crime in our inner cities, it's through the roof. And you have to say to yourself, why are the leaders just turning their back to the situation? Do they have an underlying goal, to harm people in a bigger way than you realize or understand as a citizen of this country? And then I look at the economic inflation, of how this country's inflation is just through the roof. And part of you has to wonder, is this an underlying goal and message to create incredible poverty in lower class individuals that rely on a government more than ever? And that's really the underlying goal. And then you have to ask yourself, it seems like more than ever that the media supports the hate, that they reward those that do deceitful and bad things to others. And the person that's trying to do good is actually then treated like they're the bad person. So I think we're in very dangerous times more than ever. I even watch my YouTube channel, and I feel for the younger people in this country. I really do, because I feel like they're not being told the truth. And I feel like more than ever, it's an easy way in today's social media environment to create hate. It really is. It's really bad. And for me, it's just very sad, because I'm a people person where I interact with people every day. And I run into people every day. And I talk to people every day, face to face. I see people. And I got to tell you, the people, doesn't matter what color you are or how you look, it's not factual what the media machine's trying to really jack up and divide us more than ever. And it's really sad. And once again, the message here is our leaders, this country right now, it seems to me, more than ever, in this sitting administration, it seems like to me more than ever, is supporting hate. And some people are like, oh, you're crazy. You're all right. Well, for me as an individual, there's nothing gained from me having one party per se being in power versus the other power party. I mean, there really isn't. I mean, I'm just speaking in general as to the leaders of our country. And if you step back and you say to yourself, when I go work for a company, or if I want to be on a basketball team or a baseball team, or if I want to be involved in a church, I want to be with people that win. I want to be with people that succeed. I really don't want to be involved with leaders that don't succeed, that don't know how to handle things. And as you progress in life, and that's one reason more than ever at my age in life, I can share a lot of information who I am and what I do, which years ago I wouldn't have. But I understand now at the age of life where I am, what I've accomplished and done, not everybody can do. And that's why I love sports. I've always have loved sports, because it truly separates those that want to be something and those that can't be something. I mean, it's that's what I love about sports, because it truly shows those who know how to do things and those that just can't figure it out. Well, it's no difference in life and business and social environments and communities and church. Are you participating in your life with people that know how to handle things and become better? Or are you participating with people that always have challenges and are always getting worse? And it's the same thing in business. I see this in small business all the time. I see how the leader of the business doesn't participate in the business, or the leader of business is just a lousy person, and the people around that individual are just as bad. So for me as an individual, more than ever at my age in life, I share a lot with people on the surface because I don't have anything really to hide. It's just me and my business and my life and my family. And I just try to radiate back to you, just trying to get common sense back to the good of mankind. But the media machine is taking that away. It's just a common sense of what makes sense. And like I said the other day, the minority now is starting to control the majority. That is not right. That isn't how it works. Very sadly, more than ever in our country, the minority are starting to control the majority. And a lot of these minorities have these special things they want to do in their bodies, and the list goes on and on and on. It's just beyond believable that in the media machine, it'll call you out. They would call me out on my YouTube channel. If this kind of got to be a bigger YouTube channel, they'd be calling me out. Oh, you're anti this, anti that. You're a Trump supporter. You hear these things. It's like, oh my God. It's like, you don't understand the message. The message is not wanting it to be a political division. The message is, let's get back to the common sense of mankind. Let's treat each other with respect. Let's work on a physical plane, not on some Mars mission plane. And more than ever, it's going on. So, yeah, I could talk all morning on, the philosophy of life and where we're going and this and that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just trying to share ideas with other individuals that pick the people you want to, you know as well as I do. You hang out with successful people, you will become a successful person. You hang out with losers, you will become a loser. That's just the way life is. You work for an organization. For me, the Washington Redskins are now the Washington Commanders. Well, you believe it or not, in the early 80s, I lived right near all the Washington Redskin people. John Riggins, Bobby Beathard was a general manager that lived across the street from where I lived. I used to drive his two sons to school. And sadly, his son that is my age now just lost his son a few years back in San Francisco over a bar brawl. I don't know if you remember this, but back in San Francisco, when Alex Smith or somebody or Kaepernick got hurt, a individual came in to play his quarterback. Well, that quarterback was actually be like my son playing football. Well, his brother was at a bar in San Francisco and he got knifed in a brawl and he's dead. The hate. Wow. So the whole point is, back in the early 80s, when the Washington Redskins was owned by Jack Kent Cooke, that organization kind of had its balance, and overall it was a good organization. And then Joe Gibbs came along and made it an incredible team. And so Joe Theismann lived right up the road from me. Joe Jacoby, Jeff Bostic, Art Monk. I used to go next door and I worked at the auto parts store at the Italian restaurant. Russ Grimm was there all the time. Gary Clark. I'm trying to think of the field goal. Mark Mosley. Mark Mosley came to one of my Amway type of concepts. I used to sell a product called Dry Washing Guard. It was a wireless car wash, and it was the pyramid scheme type of, the network marketing business. And I did that from April of 92 through the summer of 93, full time. Lost my tail, went broke. That was my first time around going broke in my life, back in 92, 93, because I quit my lucrative oil job to do a network marketing thing where I'm going to make millions. Hey, I met the Ginzu knife guy up in Asbury Park, New Jersey. That's Mafia City. I met a lot of people. The Dos Equis guy, that's the most interesting man in the world. I used to hang out with that guy. That guy's name is Jonathan Goldsmith. He's just an actor. He's not no freaking, special dynamic guy. But I used to hang out with that guy. I used to go and do meetings together. We used to do the rah-rah shish kumbah, meetings to get people motivated to sign up to sell a car wash product that was wireless back in 1992, 93. And the list goes on and on and on of what I used to do in that, and the many doors walked in and out of that. But, oh my God, you have no idea what I went through for that. But the point is, Mark Mosley showed up to one of our meetings. So here's Mark Mosley, a retired kicker for the Washington Redskins back in '92. He comes to that meeting to sign up for me to sign him as a distributor. I'm like, no way this guy's in this type of financial dire straits. Yeah, right. Yeah. The point is, Jack Kent Cooke ran a really nice organization. And unbeknownst to me, when Jack Kent Cooke died, I was always befuddled why John Kent Cooke, his son, didn't inherit the Washington Redskins. Well, I learned just a few years ago that Jack Kent Cooke had other minority investors. So in his will, he had but no choice to have to let go the franchise to the highest bidder, which sadly Dan Snyder buddied up with a bunch of other friends in this D.C. area and rounded up $800 million, and John Kent Cooke could only round up like $550 million. Well, the story is Dan Snyder is one of the worst owners in the NFL. There's other ones too, and he's run that organization to the ground. The Washington Redskins used to be sold out for 20 years to get season tickets. Now people give them to you. It's the worst. The whole point is leadership. So that individual ran that team to the ground to the point I make my joke was with people was you would go to that organization, and by the time you left that organization, you looked like an idiot. Look at Zorn, the quarterback, the guy that coached he looked like an idiot by the time he left. Look at Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs came back, and by the time he left, he looked like an idiot. You look at Schumer, or whoever it was that won the Denver Broncos Super Bowl with John Elway. He came here, and by the time he left, he looked like an idiot. Everybody that comes here is jinxed by Dan Snyder because Dan Snyder is a bad individual. He's a bad guy. So why wouldn't you have political leaders in our country like Dan Snyder? You do. Why wouldn't you have a car dealership guy that is like Dan Snyder? You do. So it's big time. And then that's what I'm trying to convey to people is more than ever in our society, we are letting leaders destroy this country. And you have to wonder if really their underlying goal is to destroy it. I mean, sincerely, be like, oh, you're getting radical now. Hey, is this country, sincerely, is this country going the right direction right now? Is anybody paying attention? So, all right, we're going to move on from that. And I just thought I'd give my little life's lessons this morning. Yeah, right, whatever. So, what's going on? Oh, my gosh. So, the other day, we went to the Harley dealer. Yeah, right? I took you along with me. I got my camera in my hand, so I got to say us, right? And sure enough, I went over there to get some paraphernalia. But I didn't get any paraphernalia because I walked in the door, and when I'm looking at like a little jacket, it's $100. I'm like, yeah, I'm out. Yeah. I'm looking at a nice little shirt, and it's like $80, $90. I'm like, yeah, I'm out. But when I'm there, I see a really cool Harley Davidson ST model, non-bagger. It's the soft tail division of motorcycles for Harley. It's the Street Bob division with a 117 motor on it. And it's like 19 grand. And I'm like, wow, that's a deal. Brass wheels. You saw a picture of it. Cool bike. And I thought, you know what? That bike, I think, down the road will really be a bike that people are looking for because it's just so neat, not real expensive. And you know what? Maybe I'll get that. And here's the thing. I just paid off a bunch of loans on my other motorcycles, and I got relationships with a credit union that buys some deals for me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go back home, and I'm going to reach out to my credit union lender, and I'm going to see if they let me get that SD from you. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Well, as I'm standing there, I see then this Ultra Limited that has the new paint scheme that Harley has, and I'm like, that's pretty damn nice. And it's an orange. It has an orange pinstripe and a gray and black. Beautiful bike. But here's the thing. It's basically like a $39,000 motorcycle. But it's more than that because the way some Harley dealers do it, some don't. Just depends who you're dealing with. But most Harley dealers will charge you setup and freight and shipping. So conservative. That turns into like another $2,000. Yes. Between the shipping costs they're going to add on to it and the setup and freight. Well, I should say, the setup and freight all together will be like $2,000. I didn't think that through. Shipping is the freight. Yeah, it's going to be like $1,500, $2,000. So all of a sudden, a $38,000 motorcycle is now $40,000. Then you add the sales tax on it, and and tags and registration, and then they're going to get their admin fee. You're 42.5 in the motorcycle. That motorcycle, if you go back to 2019, was a CVO limited motorcycle. Yeah, that was the price of a CVO. And if you watch my video, you'll see that in that showroom there's a yellow, black school bus. It's a school bus Road Glide, which I don't think it looks very good. I don't like it. I mean, it's nothing I'm interested in. But for the hell of it, I look at the sticker on it, and it's like 56,000. It's like 55 and change. It's 56 grand. Well, run the same numbers. You're at over $60,000 for a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson motorcycle. Wow. So that really intrigued me. That intrigued me to the point it's like, man, I just can't believe people are paying that for these CVO bikes now. But I've heard the stories during the pandemic because I sold my 2018 Road Glide CVO, which I sold it for 31 grand. If I would have sat it out for one more year, I would have gotten like 40 or 42 grand for it. Yes, that's how radical it is, especially when the pandemic came in and you couldn't get motorcycles. So now, here we go. So now after I leave that location, I come back in and I go to my credit union place. Still haven't heard back from them, just for the record. Should I be concerned? So I come back in and I do that, and then the guys are just bugging the hell out of me to buy cars. Jeez, I tell you, I'm not lying. People, it's changing, man. Yeah, it used to have to happen. Sales guys used to bug me to buy a car. What's going on? We know what's going on. Yeah, there's another great conversation. We'll get too long today. So now I get back in, and so then on Tuesday evening. Today's Thursday. I can't even keep track of the day, can I? Tuesday evening, I start doing a little research on that CVO bike, and I'm thinking, my God, it is hard to believe people are spending that type of money for CVO motorcycles. The dealer that you saw me out there in Manassas, Virginia, Bull Run Harley, he sold one already, and he bought another one from a dealer in a different market that couldn't get rid of it. And so he's already had success on one, but yet another dealer in this area of Baltimore has one for 10 grand off. Yeah. I think actually 8 grand off. I think it's like 48 instead of 56. Yeah, I wonder what that's all about, right? Well, it's a whole different demographic area. Baltimore is blue collar. DC area is the elitist, rich, white collar backyard. So anyways, so now here we go. So now I'm just kind of browsing Harley dealers. Okay, yeah. You know where this conversation's going? So here's the deal. I got a Bull Run Harley the other day. I'm out in that area working just because I got the truck tinted, the Ford Maverick window tinted, if you saw that. And I haven't been in that dealership in a long time. And now that I'm a Harley guy, what is that all about? What? I talk about this all the time. I own things, I sell them, and then down the road I buy back the same damn thing again. What the hell is going on? Am I trying to be young again? Part of me says, yeah, this is like the Ram trucks right now. It so makes me feel like 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, when I ride around in them. What the hell's going on? You're getting too old, dude. Guess what? You're getting to be an old man. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, anyways, so now I'm on the internet browsing around, and then for the hell of it, on Cycle Trader, I do the CVO search just to see what the CVO market's doing. Yep. So what do you think came from that? So now, and I'm actually, in 2019, a really nice CVO Limited came out, but I was going the Indian direction. I just didn't want to buy a Harley. I just really got rid of my Harleys. I didn't really get rid of my Harleys, but I got rid of my CVOs. Because I still had a 2019 Street Glide Special. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? That I sold last year in September of last year, only for me now have a 2022 Street Glide Special, which I think is more special. What is that all about, right? The exhaust. Yeah. So now, here we go. So now, Tuesday night, I see this really nice bike. And for me, so let me see if I can I got to get my camera here. So my hands about to go numb. So let me see if I can get my computer up and going. Let me see if I can find. All right, so here, I found the motorcycle, okay? So here we go. This is the Danger. Yeah, the Danger, right? Danger warning sign. Here is a 2019 Harley Davidson you know, it's a street glide, but they call it the Ultra or the Limited. So see here, 2019 Harley Davidson CVO Limited. But it's basically the street glide with the tour pack on it, heated seat, heated grips, the lowers. See down here, you get the lowers. So looking at the bike the first time, I was like, and I've liked that color. I've had my eye on that bike for many years, but it's just been too much money to get it, and I just wasn't fixated on the Harley Davidson product. So I find this bike through Cycle Trader, and there's a guy in the same area that's got a nice used one, and he's like $2,000 less, but it actually has, this one has like 3,100 miles, I think. I have to look at the mileage on it. And the other guy has like 7,000 miles on his. This one has 3841 miles. Okay. So the CVO product, just so me out there, it's a higher end Harley where it has the 117 motor. And then it has usually the paint theme. And it has the upgraded blacked out package, I guess you could say that. I mean, it's really more about the motor, more so than anything now, because most of the Harleys now come with 114s, not 117s. So now, there's the bike, and what's pretty cool is this actually shows this bike's original price. Just in 2019, this motorcycle was like $43,000. And, you know, and now this same motorcycle today is like $55,000. I'm trying to see where there's the actual thing that shows. Okay, let's go to the specifications. It may show that. So like here. So back in 2019, the motorcycle sold for $43,889, and then it had your freight and setup. So basically the bike back then would have been conservative $45,000. I mean, that would be, in the CVOs, they don't discount them, and more than ever, since the Puma man showed up and the pet lady showed up, they're not discounting these motorcycles, so they're building them in smaller production. It's not a giveaway product. So here it is, and what's really interesting, at first I looked at it, I didn't notice some things that are different on it. So when I called the dealership, the front wheel, the front fender is an aftermarket fender, so it's a longer fender. So the person owned this motorcycle, they spent right there, that's an easy $1,000, easy, if not more, $1,500, because you have to have the fender painted. Okay, so I would say conservative, we'll just say $1,000. I think it's $1,500. It's Harley stuff. You know, it's not cheap. All right. So as I'm going through and looking at the motorcycle, and the front headlights are all standard, the back. One thing I like about the Harleys that Indian doesn't do is they do the wraparound back lights. You have lights here, you have lights here. So this bike on the road, between those front lights and the rear lights, Harley really has a huge presence on the road of people seeing you because it has so much lighting, which is really nice. And Indian doesn't do this. Indian does not have, they just have a little dinky light way in the back. And you can add that stuff, and it's a LED lighting. That's another upgrade with the CVO product. But here's what I didn't see, though, when I was looking at this motorcycle, was the handlebars. So this person put what they call the risers or ape hangers. So this has, I would say those are probably 6-inch, maybe 8-inch. Now, in the state of Maryland, in some states, you got to be careful because if you go to a certain height on your ape hangers, it's not legal. So there are guidelines for motorcyclists they have to abide by once you start changing out your handlebars. So this here, so right there, just the handlebars, and then if you did it yourself, because you have to redo all your controls. You have to put in all new, you have to take apart. So there's that fender. That's not a factory fender. That's an aftermarket. And then the exhaust, which this is a little concerning because it's a straight pipe Vance & Hines exhaust. This is so funny because I'm only assuming the guy has a fuel pack tuner, because on this bike here, you'd have to retune it. I don't know if the person retuned it right. Is this person selling this motorcycle because they didn't get the bike to, it doesn't run as good as it used to? I have no idea on that aspect of this motorcycle. I did everything on this motorcycle over the phone. I didn't go in person. This motorcycle is 2 hours away from me. But so they got a Vance & Hines head pipe. I've done this. I got a video on my other YouTube channel from years ago of me doing all this myself. And I should dig that up and show that. So brand new head pipe and exhaust. Well, conservative number, $2,500. But get the fuel pack, there's $3,000. I mean, I'm just saying conservative. $3,000 for that. The front fender's $1,000, $4,000, being very conservative and assuming this person did everything by themselves, not paying anybody. Okay, so we're at $4,000. And then the motor, that's all, you know, I'm including the exhaust, the mufflers. I wonder how this thing sounds. I would think this thing sounds really badass. Did he take the Cadillac converter out? I have no idea until I get there and look at it. So you see there it has a heated seat, then it has a back support, and nice black tray. You know, there's all the LED lighting. And so back to the handlebars. So the handlebars, you got to redo all the controls. You know, you got to tear everything apart. That's a project. So I would say that could be $1,000 conservative. So for me, $5,000, very conservative number. This individual has $5,000. So this person paid for this motorcycle. If you factor in 45 grand, they got 50 grand the bike, not even including, you know, taxes on the motorcycle. So this is a $50,000 motorcycle. And, you know, until I get there and really look at it, see, there's the bars. And when I'm see here, you can see it. So, and is this comfortable for me? I don't know. But see, so you see all this has to be taken apart, all your wiring. You got to take apart your front end here to get into your, you know, it's nothing radical, but it's time. You know, it's just time. And if that person's not a mechanical person, then they didn't do that. And like I said, the LED lights, which is really nice. You got the lowers. It's just a really nice bike. It's a beautiful bike. So for me, here's the ball game. I think the bike's worth 35 grand because I know the market. But I know that I'm not going to get it for 35 grand because that's probably what they paid the guy for the motorcycle. And then here's the guy put in aftermarket antennas. And now you don't even use both antennas. The left antenna is AM/FM. The right antenna is CB. But as far as I know, the CB's been taken out unless the guy added it back in. So it has the crash bars. These are little things that people don't understand. When you buy, you look at my Harley Davidson Street Glide, you don't have the crash bars. And then he doesn't have any highway foot pegs. I'm kind of curious about that. I definitely want highway foot pegs. So to me, it's a $35,000 motorcycle wholesale price. That's what that is. Maybe 36. They may give a guy 36. I can't really see much more than that. Yeah. So they're wanting 37, or is it 38? Let's look at the. Let's look here. I think it's 38. Let's see what it is. I can't even remember. Oh, 37,888. So that's not bad, and they actually are good to me. In my market down here, this motorcycle is going to be 39.9 in my market. This is way north of Baltimore, up near Pennsylvania. It's different demographics. So they're not going to get that 39.9. This is the number they're and I even talked to the guy to go down in price, and he said, look, up here, we price the bikes about $1,000 less, roughly, to $1,500 less than the average market, just because of demographics, and we move bikes faster, and we move a lot of motorcycles. So I told the guy, I said, yeah, I'll take that as you're overcoming the objection. And yeah, it's a good price, because down here, they would have it at $39.9, and then if you got it for 38 grand, you'd be jumping up and down. So I think it's a good deal. Yeah, so here's the whole thing. So yesterday, I call the dealership, and I tell the guy that I'm working with my credit union and blah, blah, blah. And then I said to myself, you know, I'm a guy that buys so much stuff. So I just kind of know how dealers operate and who's running the show, what's going on. And I just kind of feel things out. And so I talked to the sales guy, and I said, you know what? I said, who's your finance person? So he mentioned this young lady's name. And I said, how long has she been there? And he said, 5 years. And I'm like, oh, 5 years. Yeah, that's the one I need. Now, if you would have told me he had a finance individual there, it's been there 6 months, a year, I'd been like, nope, they will not know what to do. And I talk about this in my videos all the time. People go to work every day that don't know their job. It goes on all day long. And I talked about that yesterday in great length about how the challenge in life is getting out of bed every day and do the same thing over and over and over again. But the people that are disciplined that can do that, these are incredible people that know how to get things done. Yeah, that's the whole problem of our political system. Yeah, same person gets to sit in office forever. Forever. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. We have senators who have been in city office 20, 30 years. It's beyond sickening and believable. Get them out. Get them out. It's bad. They know how to play the system, and they know how to play the system to make it crooked as all get out, and that's why they're still in power. It's bad. All right, but anyways, back, you're just all over the place this morning, Mr. Iceman. So here's the thing. So I have right now, I tell you all the time, I'm a guy that the banks help me keep what I have. If I don't help them, then they don't help me. Yeah, you understand that conversation? Yeah. So yesterday, if you're watching my late night video, late night, right? Got the late night edition going on, your Iceman, Icy, HGA. So I was sharing with you yesterday how right now I want to buy that motorcycle. But at the same time, I don't want another damn motorcycle. So for me, there's only way that I can justify doing this is I have to give things up. I talked about that. So right now, I've got 3 of my Hondas for sale. 2 of them are motorcycles, one's an ATV. I've got down south some other motorcycles that I just made, move on. Part of me is like, why not just take your brand new Street Glide you got that you got a great deal on and just trade that in for that? Well, I'm not at that stage yet. Because and then even last night I told my daughter about this. She's like, no, don't let the red Street Glide go. And I'm like, all right, yeah. But hey, the Bobber, all right. The Challenger Elite, yeah, okay. Not the Chieftain though. So I don't know. So yeah. So how am I doing? I just sold my Dark Horse Roadmaster full tour bike for a Challenger Elite. Here I've come full circle all the way back to Harley. But I truly believe Harley. I think Harley's fit and finish and look, I just feel is really nice. Now, don't get me wrong, the Indian product is beautiful too. Looking bike. So here's my point. So now the finance girl. So now I'm like, I have 3 loans with Harley Davidson. And since I'm just a motorhead, very, very, very minority. Okay, I'll be the minority now. I'm the trouble guy, right? I'm the problem guy. I'm the minority that goes out and buys stuff all the time. There's not many people that Harley Davidson Financial will carry 3 notes. They don't want the exposure. They don't like it. So to have 4 notes, so here's the thing. I'm working the back end trying to get my credit union to give me money for a bike. But yeah, good luck on that. So I say, you know what? Let's try to put a deal together. So we put a deal together, and of course it comes back. Yeah, Harley Davidson approved it on conditions. Okay. So now here's the next hurdle. I'm on X amount of dollars just under one name that they don't like going over a certain threshold of money. So for yesterday, for the most part, like 1:30, this took place yesterday morning. I started working on this yesterday about 11 o'clock in the morning. And yesterday, I was in the office all day. Number one, I was wanting to keep an eye on the hurricane. Number two, I have so much office work to do that I can just sit in my office all day long, even though you see me out and driving around. But yeah, there's many days I just am in my office all day long, taking care of my business and paperwork, which doesn't end. So here's the point. It was just a unique situation and circumstances that I was here all day yesterday, and I was able to finagle this deal over the phone and go back and forth. And so in all sincereness, and here's the thing. So the sales guy calls me and goes, hey, look, this is what's going on. Maybe you should talk to the finance person. I said, I do not like telling people how to do their job. I don't want to do that. It comes across the wrong way. You do not want to go into business. Hey, is anybody hearing this message about the governing bodies trying to tell you how to run your business? Did I talk about the EVs, the green agenda, telling the automotive people how to run their business? Yeah, they're all gobbling it up and sucking it up, buttercup, and doing it. But anyways, so I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to tell the finance. I don't want to tell her. I don't want to do that. I don't want her to feel like she has to do something for me. I'm not up for that. So you know what? So I told the sales, like, you need to tell her that I'm not really wanting to to talk to her about this conversation, but that's you guys make the call. He's like, well, you know how to talk. Yeah, okay. And you need to talk to her. I'm like, all right, whatever. You do what you want. So like an hour went by and she called me. And I started telling her, blah, 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 da-da-da-da, dee-dee-dee-dee. And she's like, yeah, but I don't know if I can. I'm like, look, you don't need to do anything for me. Now, I'm just sharing with you, this and that and that. It's just a lot of private information. So she's like, well, I'm just not really up for that. So she said, well, let me make another phone call. So then like a half an hour goes by. She calls back, hey, look, they're just not going to do the deal. They don't, you're too exposed and the money's out. And they're just not, I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's great. Yeah, so I said, but I'm curious. I've paid down all these notes and these bikes. Why are they thinking I'm at that level? She's like, well, it's called lean money. I'm like, lean money? She's like, they base your exposure on the original loan amount of motorcycles that you bought the motorcycles for. Now you owe on them. I'm like, oh my God, that's so unfair because I've paid down debt on motorcycles that I don't owe as much as I used to owe when I bought it. But that's how they factor the whole exposure thing. I'm like, so then we talked and talked. I was like, okay, look, you know what? I said, it's not meant to be. And it's fine. It's fine. So I hung up the phone. I started running my numbers like, the number she's telling me isn't the number she's telling me. That doesn't make any sense. So I called her back and said, look, I know I'm the guy calling again and again. I said, sincerely, I think the numbers are wrong, whatever you're talking about. So she sat down and we talked. She said, you know what? You're right. Let me look into this more. So she looked into it more. So now like another half an hour goes by. Now it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever time it is. And she goes, hey, you're done. I'm like, they just bought a 4th deal on me. She's like, yeah, 4th deal. You can come get it. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. So there you go. All right. So there's the adventures of the day. But the big thing is, I want to take the Maverick, even though I really want to drive my Ram 3500. I just love that truck. Didn't talk about the Raptor. Yeah, what the hell's going on? Ford guy, now you're a Ram guy. Now you're back to Harley. What are you doing? You're going to sell all your Indians? You traitor? Yeah, you Indian traitor. So, anyways, here's my guy. Got to drive it up. So yeah, so I really want to take that Maverick and do a tow review with that aluminum trailer and share with everybody that wants to buy a Maverick. Is it great or not so great? So hey, gotta go to work. Yeah, right. And stay tuned for the Maverick Harley Davidson Trailer Day. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.